Okay, so get this. We're diving into some seriously next-level stuff today.
Oh, yeah.
UFO patents.
Intriguing.
You and
Okay.
I, we both know those blurry videos are out there, right?
Right.
And now, get this, the U.S. Navy's dropping patents
What?
for things that sound like they're straight out of a sci-fi movie. I mean, I'm talking
Like what?
plasma compression fusion devices,
Wow.
high-frequency gravitational wave generators.
It definitely sparks the imagination, doesn't it?
Right. Come on. That's
exactly what we're here to unpack today.
That's what we're here to unpack. We're lucky enough. We've
Okay.
got this awesome article from the Debrief.
Okay.
It's really going to help us make sense of all this.
Yeah.
And the author, Bernardo Kastrup,
Right.
he's not just some,
Right.
armchair philosopher.
Right.
He's a computer scientist who's actually worked with high-tech patents.
It's interesting.
He knows this world inside and out.
Exactly. That's what makes his perspective so valuable.
Yeah.
He understands the technical side, but also the strategic game behind these patents.
Okay, so before we get into the strategy,
Okay.
let's talk about the tech itself for a second.
Okay.
So we've got these patents from a Dr. Salvatore Pais.
Okay.
He's at the Naval Air Warfare Center.
Right.
And these patents, they sound like something right out of those UFO sightings.
Okay.
We've got the plasma compression fusion device, which Forbes even speculated could be a sign of reverse engineered
Well,
alien tech. I
Well-
mean, I'm not saying it's aliens, but
it's aliens.
it's aliens, right?
Well, let's not jump to conclusions just yet.
Okay.
This is certainly a captivating thought.
Right.
But what's fascinating here
Yeah.
is how this technology, if it works as described, right?
Right.
This could potentially generate a massive amount of energy
Yeah.
from a very compact device.
Oh, interesting.
And we've always wondered, right, how UFOs could possibly power
Right.
those alleged maneuvers.
Right.
And this might be a clue.
Are they plugging into the galactic grid or something? I don't know. This plasma compression thing could be huge.
Right.
Okay, then we've got the
What else?
high-frequency gravitational wave generator,
Okay.
which I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
sounds like it could. Warp space-time
It's wild.
or something crazy like that, right?
Think about how these objects move,
Yeah.
seemingly defying our understanding of physics,
Yeah.
the ability to manipulate gravity,
Right.
to ride those waves like surfers on.
Right.
Well, gravity waves, that would be a game changer.
No kidding. Imagine the possibilities not just for space travel,
Right.
but for everything.
Everything.
And then there's the craft using inertial mass reduction device.
Okay.
Now, even I know inertial mass is basically
Yeah.
what makes something resist movement.
Right. Right.
So are we talking about basically
Yeah.
making a craft weightless?
If you can manipulate inertial mass,
Okay.
you can manipulate inertia itself. Imagine a craft that can accelerate and decelerate
Yeah.
at incredible speeds,
Right.
making those sharp turns that we see in the videos.
Right.
It would be like trying to catch a fly with a pair of chopsticks.
So we've got this potentially revolutionary technology,
Right.
the kind that could rewrite
Yeah.
physics as we know it.
Yeah.
And the Navy decides to make it public
That's
through patents.
Crazy. Wow.
This is where my brain starts to melt a little. It's
Yeah.
like giving away the recipe for Coca-Cola,
Exactly.
but instead of a sugary drink, it's the secret
Right.
to interstellar travel.
Exactly.
Kastrup really hits on this in the article.
Yeah.
Patents are public record.
They are.
They're basically detailed blueprints,
Right.
not like locked up secrets.
Precisely. And that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
From a strategic standpoint,
Right.
why would the Navy, especially when it comes to technology,
Right.
with such potential military applications, choose this route?
Right.
It seems counterintuitive, almost like they want
Yeah.
the world to know what they're working on.
It's wild. It's like they're just showing everyone their hand, right?
Right.
Like in the middle of a poker game, you know?
And it's what makes this whole thing so fascinating.
Right.
Most people think patents
Yeah.
are about keeping things secret, but
Right.
Castro points out it's actually about
Okay.
controlling who profits from an idea,
Okay.
not necessarily hiding the idea itself.
So it's less about locking the recipe in a vault.
Yeah.
And more about just making sure
Okay.
that you're the one selling the cookies.
Exactly.
Right.
Think about it.
Okay.
We all know what a smartphone fingerprint scanner looks like,
Right.
but what makes it work,
Right.
that tech behind it,
Right.
that's patented.
Right.
So the company's not protecting the design, they're protecting
Right.
their genius, their
Right. Engineering.
their investment, right?
So bringing that back to the Navy then.
Right.
And those warp drive patents.
Right.
What's the angle? I mean, they're not...
Right. Profit isn't usually
Right.
the Navy's main motivator.
They're not looking for a payday like some Silicon Valley tech company.
Kastrup suggests that they might use patents for a kind of internal competition.
Okay.
Imagine, different defense contractors each vying for those lucrative Navy projects.
Right.
A patent becomes like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
A bargaining chip.
Okay. Yeah.
Proof that their tech
it's the real deal.
Is the real deal. So it's less about selling it to the public.
It's more about winning those internal bake-off.
It's about who gets to, who gets the government contract.
You got it.
Right.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Even in that scenario,
right,
it's unlikely they'd use patents.
For the truly groundbreaking stuff,
the
top secret things, they really want to keep under wraps.
Right.
Once it's patented, it's out there. It's out there. It's fair game for anyone to analyze and potentially even blow upon.
Okay, so we've ruled out secrecy.
Right.
We've talked about internal competition.
Right.
What about the defense strategy? Could this be the Navy's way of stopping someone else from patenting?
Okay.
Similar technology.
That's a common assumption.
Right. Yeah.
But Kastrup shoots that down pretty effectively.
Okay.
He says if you just want to block someone else from getting a patent, there's a much simpler way to do it.
Okay, what's that?
Publication. Yeah.
So, if the Navy wanted to stop someone from patenting, a faster-than-light engine, they just, publish a research paper about it.
Essentially, yes.
Wow.
It doesn't even have to be a formal research paper.
Okay.
Kastrup uses a hilarious example.
What's that?
He says, even a Donald Duck comic book would do the trick.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the idea is, once an idea is published, even in a seemingly ridiculous context, it becomes prior art.
Right.
And that prior art can be
be
used to challenge someone else's patent claim.
So you're telling me that Donald Duck could be the key
It sounds crazy, but...
to derailing a patent for a real-life warp drive?
Right.
That's hilarious.
Right.
And terrifying at the same time.
It highlights just how ineffective patents would be as a purely defensive strategy.
Right. Because, filing for a patent...
Right. It's a long, expensive
whole
process.
Right.
Why go through all that?
Right.
When you could just, scribble the idea on a napkin.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So if it's not about hiding alien tech, it's not about,
what is it about?
Stopping your competitors, then what's the point? This is what I love about these deep dives.
I know, it's like
the further we go,
it's like we're in
the weirder it gets.
Detective movie, we're piecing together the clues.
Yeah.
And Kastrup, being the thorough investigator he is, offers up some other intriguing possibility.
Okay, I'm hooked. Lay it on me. So, publicity, but not for selling something, not for profit.
Right.
What are we talking here? Is the Navy trying to be
think of it more as a kind of strategic signaling.
Okay.
So imagine you're the Navy, right? You've got this advanced technology in development.
Okay.
What do? Do you keep it completely under wraps?
Yeah.
Risk other countries beating you to the punch?
Right.
Or do you find a way to kind of subtly let the world know?
Right. I see what you're saying. It's like a don't even try it.
Right. Exactly. It's a way of kind of projecting power and deterring potential adversaries.
So they're like, we're already here.
We're already here.
Don't even try it.
Exactly.
Right.
But then there's another even more intriguing possibility that Kastrup brings up.
What's that?
Public acclamation.
Public acclamation.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm gonna need you to explain that one.
Think about it. What would happen if the government suddenly announced, we have this technology that can manipulate gravity.
Yeah, people would lose their minds.
People would freak out, right?
Right.
But by slowly introducing these concepts through patents, through articles like the one we're discussing, maybe they're getting the public.
Right, they're easing us into it.
Easing them into the idea.
Right, it's like dipping your toe in the pool before you just cannonball in.
It's a way of shifting the Overton window.
So they're saying no, the stuff is real.
Making the seemingly impossible seem, at least a little bit possible.
Yeah, we're working on some pretty wild stuff, but it's, it's not science fiction. It's just science.
Right.
Right.
Precisely.
And you're going to be hearing a lot more about it soon.
And you're going to be hearing a lot more about it.
And maybe, just maybe, prepping us for a future where those blurry UFO videos aren't so unbelievable anymore.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right. It really is.
And one we may not have an answer to for quite some time.
It really makes you think, like, you know, we started with those, like...
But that's what makes all of this so thought-provoking.
Yeah. It does, like those grainy videos. Right. And now we're, like, diving into patent law. Exactly. International strategy. I mean, it really highlights...
It shows you how much we don't know.
How much we don't know.
How important it is to question everything.
To stay curious.
To stay curious, because it's out there.
Absolutely. And to remember that sometimes the most interesting answers aren't about the technology itself, but about
the why,
the motivations behind it, right? The strategic games being played.
Right, exactly.
We may not have all the pieces of the puzzle, but thinking critically about these patents, about why they exist, gives us this glimpse into a world far more complex than we often imagine.
It's a good reminder that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction.
It is.
You know?
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, the next time you see
a headline about UFOs or some kind of mind-blowing tech.
Right. Don't just scroll past.
Don't just scroll past it.
Take a moment.
Yeah, dive a little deeper.
You
know, be curious, ask some questions because you might be surprised at what you find.
You might be surprised by what you uncover.
Who knows? You might be the one to finally crack the code.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to finally crack the code.
Now that's a thought. Until next time, keep those minds curious.
Keep those minds curious.
And we'll see you on the next deep dive.